As we get ready to launch the TLC campaign and look forward to everything God has in store for Emmanuel, we wanted to take a moment and look back at those who helped make Emmanuel what it is today, a nearly 60-year-old church with a beautiful sanctuary, a family life center, and a congregation of good and faithful servants to the Lord. As Pastor mentioned, when he first introduced TLC, we have an opportunity to be the answered prayers of those who came before us.
With the guidance of the Holy Spirit, through prayer and supplication, Emmanuel, which means God is with us, was born.
I remember when we broke ground here at 467 North White Road, everyone was so excited because we were coming from a storefront to all of this land that we could build just about anything on.
There was a feeling of excitement and camaraderie among the EBC family. During the different phases of the building project, James and I would stop after work on our way home and see what progress had been done. From time to time, we would see other members there doing the same thing. Excitement was in the air. It was wonderful seeing what God was doing through His people.
The word that you used is, it was extremely exciting to me to be involved after knowing what the vision was at that time, to know that that same vision exists today.
I believe that God has truly had His Spirit upon this church as I began to reflect over our history, starting from just a few folks who had a vision to start a church. Not really understanding where the church was going, but understanding that God had placed His Spirit upon them.
It's home for me. It's safety. It's worship, it's love, it's a big hug.
When I came to San Jose, and I visited churches, right? But it was something about, and I'd go a couple of Sundays and I wouldn't go back. But when I came to Emmanuel, I felt that sense of, this is it. You're home here, right? And so, and I don't know how I know, but somehow inside you just kind of know here at Emmanuel when you're connected, right?
It was something that was bigger than any of us, so we knew that God was like orchestrating it, but it was just wonderful seeing the members working together and coming together and feeling that excitement all together in one place.
I've seen Emmanuel grow. I've seen it have good times. I've seen it survive bad times. But all in all, God has been there to see us through whatever the situation may have been.
It's about building something that we can leave, and the building is a piece of it, but a small piece of that, but something that we can leave to our children, our children's children, and to the community as well.
Emmanuel will be here for a long time. Because us senior citizens, we move it on, but we're leaving a legacy behind for our children and our grandchildren. This is a part of our heritage, so we're going to leave it to them.
I think we need to make sure, and this is where I have been since I've been here and working toward building this legacy, helping build this legacy, is making sure that I feel that I have some ownership in it, right? Too often I think we spend time saying, well, the pastor's got to do that, right? And the deacon's got to do that, right? Well, we got to take a look at where we're going, and I think each one of us, individually and collectively, are responsible for owning this thing, right? So that if somebody's to blame, it's all of us. Each one of us individually and collectively are responsible for leaving this legacy.
As you think about the next 60 years, what would you like to see Emmanuel do?
I haven't seen anything since 1973. So I just had to get that in and get that plug, okay? But I like to say things that get people to laugh, okay?
The light still shines bright here and will continue to shine bright as long as we have a legacy to continue.
It's not a matter of what I've seen, it's what I feel, what God has channeled through my spirit.
To me, Emmanuel means a family, a place where I can go and fellowship and worship with my sisters and brothers, and knowing that God is there because God is with us, Emmanuel.
If you're part of the legacy, if you're God's eyes, if you're God's ears, if you're God's voice, if you're the legacy, what kind of legacy are you leaving? And I think each one of us need to consider, what am I doing, right, to further that legacy?
Emmanuel is our home. These buildings that were constructed with unwavering faith, endless prayers, and the blood, sweat, and tears of generations are a symbol not only of our dedication to God, but a symbol of His overwhelming blessings to us as individuals and Emmanuel as a church for nearly 60 years. When we walk around and see God's house in need, how will we respond? When we see floors and carpets wearing out, what are we going to do about it? A broken elevator, an outdated plumbing, a rundown playground for our children? What will our legacy be in the story of Emmanuel? As we're preparing our church for the next 60 years, will the congregation look back on the great work that was done and be thanking God for our faithfulness? As we look back and thank the 4 couples that made the investment for us in 1965, we must do the same for the next generation. They built a lasting legacy with a small church, a plot of land, the Family Life Center, and finally, the sanctuary. Their prayers were for something that would endure for generations far beyond their own lifetimes. And now, in 2025, the legacy continues.